أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين مولانا وسيدنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض مولانا حجة ابن الحسن عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم صل ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الإمام محمد الباقر عليه الصلاة والسلام اللهم صل إذا غضب الله تبارك وتعالى على خلقه نجانا عن جوارهم. Respected scholars, elders, brothers and sisters, mu'mineen and mu'minat. Now this is only, we have 3 lectures left inshallah. Tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. Sunday will be a conclusion. Tonight and tomorrow we'll discuss as much as we can regarding especially the second aspect of the characteristics of Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. These lectures are yearning for Imam Zaman, yearning for Imam Mahdi, and we try our best to remember him, to please him, and to develop an attachment to him. Azizan Girami, one of the most heinous, unjust things that we have done either consciously or unconsciously, either maliciously or not maliciously, is that we have not been fair to the Imam, especially in the way we have introduced him, especially in the way that we can think of when he comes. Sometimes we think it's just going to be a time of warring, battles, blood flowing in the streets, bodies piled up on the side, so many people will be killed. As if, for example, he will be, na'udhu billah, the angry side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, manifesting the anger of God. This is not the case. We mentioned many things yesterday. Today we're going to mention some specific things. This is not the case at all that Imam Zaman will come and then all of a sudden he will draw his sword and threaten people and na'udhu billah, bully people. This is not Imam. This is not Imam. This is not Ahlul Bayt. This is not Amirul Mu'mineen. This is not Seerah of Ayyimah alayhimus salam. Amirul Mu'mineen, regarding him, what is mentioned is like this. One of the ashab says, when we used to see Amirul Mu'mineen in the dark nights in Kufa, the way he would go and take the orphans and put them on his lap and stroke their hair and feed them with his own hands, we used to feel if only we were one of those orphans, Amirul Mu'mineen would behave with us like this. This is Amirul Mu'mineen. This is Ayyimah alayhimus salam. Imam Zaman is the mazhar, is the manifestation of the rahmat of Allah, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to be known by His mercy first and foremost. Is there an anger side of Allah, a punishment side of Allah? Of course there is. The Quran is full of that. The Quran mentions a lot about the angers of God, the punishments of Allah, the description of hell and heaven. These are all there in the Quran. But first of all, we have to understand that when He introduces Himself to us, He uses 2 frequent names, Bismillahir Rahman Ar-Rahim. Rahman and Rahim. There's one surah which doesn't mention Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Surah number 9, Surah Tawbah. Okay, interesting thing is that if that surah is not meant to introduce Allah as a merciful and compassionate Lord, it would have used another word, it would have used another name of Allah, it would have used another kind name of Allah, another wrathful name of Allah. Allah has wrathful names. Allah has names which display and characterize His wrath and anger. Why did Allah not use one of those names? One of the ulama said very beautifully, he said, it's as if Allah is trying to tell us that if I can't be known by Rahman and Rahim, if I can't be known by my mercy and my compassion, then I don't have any other substitute. I don't want to be known by anything else. The primary function of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? Is to draw people into His mercy, to give them blessings, to be kind to them, to shower them with His grace and shower them with His favors and bounties. Imam Zaman is mazhar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the mazhar of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He embodies the attributes of God, so he will be naturally the same. He will be actually wanting to manifest the mercy and kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It therefore follows, if you follow this logic, it therefore follows that even in his followers, he wants the same thing. He wants us also to primarily display the attributes of mercy and compassion. Mercy and kindness, kindness and compassion, being nice to people, being compassionate, being forgiving, etc. So one of the heinous things we have done is we've introduced Imam in the wrong way. Whereas he is not an Imam of harshness and warring and just threatening people and bullying people. Of course he's not. He's an Imam of mercy. Azizan, no matter how much you think about Imam Zaman, whenever the thought comes in your mind that he is an Imam of justice, that he's coming to establish justice upon the earth, also say to yourself, he's also coming to establish mercy and compassion on the earth as well. The earth is devoid of mercy and compassion. Look around, look how people are being treated. Look at the exploitation which is happening. Look at the treatment of the rich to the poor in the world. Look at the treatment of the global conglomerates and the global superpower billion-dollar plus companies, the way they're treating people. Look at the hold that they have on people. Look at the exploitation. Look at the, for example, some people think that, for example, today we don't have slavery, but we have modern day slavery. Look at how that is playing out itself. Look at this world we are in. Imam is coming to reset. Allah never wanted a world full of mischief, corruption, bloodshed. He never wanted a world full of wars and genocides and racism and discrimination. He didn't want this kind of world. He wanted a different world for us. He wanted the world to be something very special, and this will happen with the coming of Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli. If we continue to introduce Imam in this way, then definitely we're going to remove the keenness of some people to pray for the Imam. They will say, why do we pray for the Imam? If Imam is coming with such an angry demeanor, then why do we pray for the Imam? We don't want to be living in a world of anger and wars and bloodsheds. So we have to be very, very careful that we introduce Imam in the right way. Now, as we said yesterday, Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam receive all of those shares of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then that flows to everyone else. This is not like a bank clerk, for example. Someone in a bank who works there, yeah, they may be handling millions of transactions, millions of dollars, millions of pounds a day. But what they do is they're simply a postman. They take from here, they give to here. They themselves don't have anything to do with this money. They themselves don't benefit from that money. They get their salary at the end of the day. Imam is not like this. Don't think of Imam as just a postman, that he just takes one thing from God and passes it on. No. Imams are those who actually download, inculcate, bring it into themselves. Whatever Allah gives, believe me, they are the first recipients of this. They themselves are full of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are full of the hope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're full of the compassion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imams, when we talk about Imams, we have to look at it in this way, that they are the manifestation of Allah's mercy and kindness. Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salatu wasalam says that when our Qa'im rises, he will place his hand upon the heads of the people, thereby perfecting their intellect and their morals. So therefore, the first step of Imam is what? Before even going out and sorting out the external world, which will be done, but before that step, it's an internal step. It's a step of reformation, it's a step of bringing people up to a higher level, it's a step of working on people's internal selves. This is the first step of the Imam. You cannot sort out this world unless you sort out individuals. You cannot hope to eradicate hunger and homelessness while you have greedy people and selfish people around. This is a fallacy. One of the ulama, he says a very good thing. He says, if we would have spent 1%, listen very carefully, this is a very daqiq and precise thing I want to say. He says, if we would have spent 1% of what we spend on charity, we would have spent 1% of that in making people better people, it would have done more for the poor and the homeless and the downtrodden than all of that charity. You have to work on people's characters, Azizan. You have to work on people's minds, their hearts, their reform from inside. We're wasting time. We are really wasting time, and we don't have time. Life is going by very quickly. We don't have long left in this short earthly realm that Allah has put us in. We don't have time for the community squabbles and the family issues and all of these nonsenses which are going on. We don't have time to waste with people who just want to debate for the sake of debating without any basis. We really don't have time. Time is ticking. Amirul Mu'minin, what did he used to say? His famous words in Kufa. Again and again Amirul Mu'minin would repeat these words. Tajahhazu rahimakumullah. Get ready. May Allah have mercy on you, because the time of departure has been announced. The train is leaving. The plane is departing. Don't waste your time. Prioritize your time. Don't get sucked into these ridiculous, baseless kinds of arguments that we seem to have devoted so much of our energies to. We don't have time. We need to prepare for Imam. So Imam will come, and the first thing he does is that he creates an internal revolution of the hearts, of the minds. People's hearts, people's minds, people's intellects, people's morals. How? With the daste rahmat-e khuda, with that hand of mercy of Allah, which will issue forth from the sleeve of Baqiyatullah, that hand of God which will issue forth from the sleeve of Baqiyatullah. He will help people's internal first of all. Then he will embark on the external things that he has to do. Yes, there will be. Is there going to be no opposition? That would also be foolish to think. Of course, there will be opposition. Every prophet has faced opposition. Every imam has faced opposition. When there are people who are hell-bent on mischief and oppression, and you cannot help but move them out of the way for the progress of the rest of the people, then they have to be dealt with. But even then, as a last resort, in a nicest possible way, but yes, there will be some, obviously, physical altercations which have to be done. This is all because before the zuhur happens, the world will be in a terrible state. Maybe what you see now is the beginning of that terrible state. Obviously, we cannot predict. But maybe some of what we see now is the beginning of that terrible state of the world. Maybe it has to get much worse for Imam to come. We just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that when he comes, we are on the right side of the equation, inshallah. So Imam comes, the world is in an awful state. Imam will change anger to love. Imam will change anger to mercy. Imam will change cruelty to compassion. Imam will then create a revolution within us, in the hearts and the minds of people. And what will happen is, all of a sudden, the hearts will be overtaken by a sense of mercy and compassion. Ar-ra'fatu war-rahma. Mercy and compassion, kindness and compassion will then take over people's hearts. What will happen? Yarhamul kabiru saghir. The older, the more powerful, the bigger people will have mercy on those under them. Employers will have mercy upon their staff and those who work for them. Fathers and mothers will have more mercy towards their offspring and those under them. And what will happen on the other side? وَيُوَقِّرُ الصَّغِيرُ الْكَبِيرُ. The smaller one will have a very much sense of respect towards the elders. Children will respect their parents. The youngers will respect the elders. This is all because of that hand of mercy of Imam Zaman. That is on the human side. Now let's go over to the other side of our discussion, which is in the natural world, with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This mazhar-e rahmat-e khuda, this manifestation of the kindness of Allah, is not just limited to the human world. When He comes, there will be an encompassing, a very comprehensive change in the fabric of the world. See, this world is not based on laws of nature or luck or coincidence. Every single thing in this world has a hisab and kitab with God. Everything in this world has a hisab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somehow, somewhere, nothing happens by fluke. It is in the general divine plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when this manifestation of the mercy of God comes to this world and He reveals Himself, He comes out of occultation, when He announces that He is now here, you will see not only in human society but also in animal society, also in plant world, and the whole of the earth, the whole of this world will be transformed. It will be a kind of state of utopia. It will be a kind of life, world which Allah wanted. Does He want, do you think, this world with all of this genocide, with all of this killing? Is this what Allah had envisioned for us, that we should live this kind of life? Azizan, now a Qiyamati hadith for you. Mahshar hadith. Something that will hopefully wake us up from our state of slumber and heedlessness. The way this time that we are in has been described is as follows by Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. إِذَا غَضِبَ اللَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. When Allah wants to manifest His anger, when He wants to show His anger upon the creation, نَجَّانَا عَنْ جَوَارِهِمْ. He prevents us, He prevents the people from accessing us. Somehow He prevents the people from accessing us. What does this mean? In reality, what this means is we are living in a time of the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you don't have ni'mat of wilayat, you are living in the time of anger of Allah, because you are being deprived, we are being deprived of the biggest ni'mat of Allah, which is the wali khuda, which is the wali of Allah, the representative of Allah. The biggest ni'mat of God is the wali khuda. The biggest bounty of Allah is Imam Zaman. When we don't have him in front of us, really we are not in a good situation. Really this should make us concerned. Really this should increase our iztirar. Why is this? What happened? What did we do? What happened that Allah removed this? Well, it is all again related back to wilayat. We rejected wilayat. We, meaning humanity in a general sense. Muslims in a general, humanity in a general sense. Some people ask, why is Imam Zaman in occultation? One of the answers is very simple. Allah will probably say to us that, look, I gave you so many imams. I gave you the best of the best of the best, Amirul Mu'mineen, and you substituted him with such people. You threw that back into my face, metaphorically. You threw that back at me. I gave you the biggest ni'mat, the King of Kings, His Majesty Amirul Mu'mineen. What did you do? You abandoned him. I gave you then Imam Hassan. What did you do? You ran away from him. You betrayed him. I gave you Aba Abdullah. You slaughtered him on the sands of Karbala. I gave you Zainul Abidin. You whipped him, lashed him, imprisoned him. I gave you all of these Aimma. What did you do with Imam Musa Kadhim? You imprisoned him for so many years? In the darkest dungeons of Baghdad, you imprisoned him? Now there is one more left. And now Baqiyatullah is there. Now I'm not going to take any chances. We, the human race, as a general, I'm saying, we have rejected this bounty of wilayat of Ahlul Bayt. Look at the words in Dua Nudba, for example. Lam yumtathal amru Rasulillah. The command of the Holy Prophet was not followed. Which command? Fil hadeen ba'd al hadeen. He told you in Ghadir and in other places, he told you very clearly, again and again, at all opportunities, he told you, after me is Ali, after him is Hassan, after him is Hussein, etc., etc., etc. He told you, the Quran told you, Ayat-e-Tathir told you, Ayat-e-Wilayat told you. Throughout the Quran, you have so many references towards this thing, but you chose not to follow it. وَالْأُمَّةُ مُسِرَّةٌ عَلَى مَقْتِهِ. You, people, generally people, you chose to devise all sorts of plots and plans against this great family, this Ahlul Bayt. مُجْتَمِعْتٌ عَلَى قَتِيئَةِ رَحِمِهِ. You all got together and you decided that we are going to cut off this great Prophet of God's lineage. We will abandon them. We will leave them. وَإِقْصَاءِ وُلْدِهِ. You chose not to respect his children. إِلَّا الْقَلِيلِ. Yes, there were a few of you. There were a few of you remaining on the right path with your loyalty. But generally, what happened? Humanity, Ummah, Muslims, they abandoned the Holy Prophet and his family. Now, what is the result? The result of this is very simple. It is a sunnat of Allah. It is a practice of Allah. It is one of the wisdoms of Allah that when you go on rejecting His bounties, what will happen? He will remove those bounties and He will send you calamities. He will send you illnesses. He will send you, for example, inflation. He will send you, for example, financial issues. He will send you health issues. He will send you issues of country against country, people against people. There will be no peace on the earth. Why? You rejected His biggest bounty of wilayat. The world is not meant to be like this. Allah doesn't want this for the world. Where is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course it is there. But when you reject the biggest bounty of Allah, Imam Zaman, wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen, when you reject these things, then definitely you're going to be involved in calamities and issues. Allahumma gfir liya dhunub allati tunzilun nikam. Dua Kumail. We recite it every Thursday. What do we say? Oh Allah, forgive me those sins which bring down calamities. Forgive me those sins which bring down calamities. Calamities come from where? From our sins. Allahumma gfir liya dhunub allati tughayyirun ni'am. Oh Allah, forgive me those sins where you have given me bounties, but somehow you have changed those bounties into almost like a curse upon us. You've given us bounties, but those bounties are not helping us. That tawfiq has gone. That side of mercy may have left us. He's given us money, but with money we've become proud. He's given us, for example, good health, but with good health we are committing sins. He's given us, for example, a community, but the community we have, we don't get along with one another. He's given us, for example, family, but we treat family like rubbish. All these ni'mat He's given us, but we don't follow them. Allahumma gfir liya dhunub allati tahbisu du'a. Khudaya, Khudaya. What a bala this is. You have given us the power of dua, but our duas don't ascend because our sins are blocking them. Sins, guna, zulm, oppression, na-insafi, be-insafi, injustices, not treating people with respect, not keeping the honor of a mu'min, not keeping the izzat of a mu'min, not keeping the izzat of the community, not keeping respect of the elders. What do we think is going to happen? Allahumma gfir liya dhunub allati taqta'ur raja. People are in trouble. People are heran. They don't have hope. They have all sorts of mental illnesses. All sorts of issues are coming about. Why? Because we are doing sins which taqta'ur raja, which cut off the hope. I remember not so long ago, I was invited by one of our Jamaats. They said, they booked me for whatever time it was. I agreed. Then it so happened that a few months before going to that Jamaat, I met one of their committee members in Ziyarat, I think in Karbala we met. So he was talking to me, Sheikh, we're looking forward to you coming, blah, blah, blah. I said, thank you very much. I said, tell me a little bit about the community. What's happening in the community? He says, Sheikh Bana, the people have lost hope. They've lost hope. Speak on hope. Make people more hopeful. I said, no problem, good topic. He said, now what will you say? Well, I'll say that one of the ways of cutting off your hope is when you do sins, your hope is cut off. You lose hope when you commit sins. He says to me, Sheikh Bana, no. Don't say that. That they won't like. I said, that they won't like? What do you mean that they won't like? So what do you expect me to say? Oh, just give some nice, kind messages. Just give them, a nice speech about hope. I said, bro, I'm not an entertainer. I'm not coming to entertain you. The only thing I know is what Ali Muhammad have said. That is what we have. Sins cut off hope. Sins make us down. Sins can cause all sorts of issues. Allahumma gfir liya dhunub allati tunzilul bala. Oh Allah, forgive me those sins which send down calamities. Sins. sins. As I said, we are lucky, we are fortunate that we have in this world still some very noble people, some very angelic people. Inshallah, you are of those angelic people as well. That because of their deeds, the rest of us are protected. Because of their taqwa, the rest of us are protected. Because of people like Ayatollah Khamenei, Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Makarim, Ayatollah Jawadi. I won't take all the names, it'll take too long, but may Allah protect all of our scholars and give them long lives, inshallah. Because of these kinds of people, honestly, this world is protected. But more than anything, because of that presence of Wali-e Khuda in this world, how much are we protected? But the biggest ni'mat of Allah being wilayat, we like to reject it. We don't pay attention to it. We don't give it that importance. What kind of bala will come upon us? What do you say? Now, someone may ask, well, what's the connection between those balas and our sins? Let's talk about that for a few minutes with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. See, this world is alive. This world is alive. This world is not dead. This world is not just run by coincidental laws of physics. This world has a master. That master is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This world is run by the hidden hand of God. This world will react. This world will show its displeasure. This world will treat people as they behave on it. Think of like a car. You put the wrong kind of fuel. You have a petrol car, you put diesel. You have a diesel car, you put petrol. What will happen? Turn on the car, you may be able to drive a bit, and then all of a sudden it will start to jerk and splutter, and the car will not do anything now. It has shown its reaction. You put something that wasn't supposed to be there, you put it in. The car shows its reaction. The human body, when something goes in that is not supposed to go in, what happens? We throw up, we vomit, we take it out by force if necessary. The world is like this. The world will show its displeasure. The world will show its reaction to dhulm. This is all in the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The world will withhold its rain. The world will withhold its crops from growth. Famines, droughts, earthquakes, I don't know, all of these different types of things. This is all in the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somehow, somewhere, it is fitting in the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There was a man in Tehran. He was known as Murshid Chewlovi. That was his nickname. Murshid Chewlovi was a man, he had a cello kebab shop, cello kebab restaurant. And he was known as a good man, a decent person. One day he met one of the mystics, one of the mystical personalities, one of the pure souls of the world at that time. His name was Rajabali Khayyat. You must have heard of him. You must have heard his name. He has some very, very amazing stories and narrations which are attributed to him. This Murshid Chewlovi, he meets Sheikh Rajabali Khayyat. We say Sheikh out of respect. Actually, he wasn't like a alim as such. He wasn't formally educated. So he meets Rajabali Khayyat. He says to him, brother, something is not right in my business. Business is not flourishing. Business is not flowing. Once upon a time, I used to make 3 or 4 pots, deg, of rice a day. And I would have no trouble selling it all. These days, I cannot even sell 1 pot. 3 or 4 I used to sell before, now I can't even sell 1 pot of rice. He says, brother, I don't know what's going on. This Rajabali Khayyat, very special person, very, very amazing personality. He puts his head down. He thinks for a few moments. And then he tells this Murshid Chewlovi, he says, you know what, you are driving your customers away yourself. He says, brother, no, I'm not. I'm so nice to my customers. I treat them with respect. When there is a student who comes, I give him a discount even. I'm not driving away anyone. Again, Rajabali Khayyat puts his head down. After a few moments, he tells him again. He says, you are driving away your customers. Do you not remember there was not so long ago a particular Sayyid had come to your shop and he asked you that can you feed me on credit? On credit. I don't have the money now, I'll pay you later. But feed me a meal. He was hungry, he came to your shop. And you fed him and he went away. And then after a few days again he came back. And he said, look, again, I need some credit. Can you feed me a meal? And when I have the money, I'll pay you back. And how did you treat him? Was it not you who made him go away, who made him feel bad, who made him feel without any honor, without any dignity? Did you not drive him away from your shop? Did you not refuse him that meal that he needed? That is what is driving your customers away. That is what you did. Now you taste the taste of what you have done. You taste it. Your hands have done this. You have done this. That treatment that you did to that mu'min, Sayyid, whatever it was, that is now coming back to bite you. Murshid Chewlovi, he starts to panic. He says, you're right, I do remember that day. So what does he do? He goes out, he looks for that Sayyid. He looks for that Sayyid. He finds that Sayyid. He says to him, please forgive me, make it halal for me. Whatever I did to you, that disrespect, make it halal for me. Azizane Girami, you may be thinking, well, it's not wajib to give anyone credit. Let's move away from wajib and haram for a few moments. Let's look at the essence and spirit of Islam sometimes. Let's move away from strictly wajib and haram things and just draw our lines in a very narrow way. Sometimes we need to open our eyes, open our minds and look at wajib, haram and also the etiquettes of humanity, the etiquettes of people, the izzat of people, the honor of people. So he goes to this Sayyid, he finds him, he tells him, he said, look, I'm really sorry, do you forgive me? I need your forgiveness. Sayyid says, yeah, no problem, I forgive you, no problem. And then he does something amazing. Probably no business person would do this. He does something amazing. He writes a big sign, puts it on his shop. It says, we will happily give credit even to you. We will happily give credit even to you. And we will also arrange for cash loans, petty cash loans. If you need small amounts, you need something to tide you over for that particular day, couple of days, we'll give that to you. Where does your barakat come from? Where does your rizq come from? Do you think it's your hushyari, your smartness that is making this money? Do you think it's you in control of these things? Do you think you are the boss of your rizq? Do you think you are controlling what money comes in or what money goes out? There are people in the world, I'm telling you, are on paper, they have very little to their names. Very little to their names. But they are the happiest people. They have barakat in their mal. They have barakat in their money. I'll show you people who on paper are earning millions, but they're miserable. No barakat, no sukoon, no tranquility, no peace, can't sleep at night. Where does this come from? This comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The root, the source of all goodness is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He then allows that to spread in people. He then allows that to spread in the world. First and foremost to Imam Zaman, then to everyone else. You link with Imam Zaman, you'll see how your life changes. You do something on the name of Amirul Mu'mineen and you see how your life changes. You do something for Imam Rida, you see how your life changes. Try it. Do it. And then you tell me. These are all the secrets of wilayat. These are all those very, very important points regarding wilayat of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. End of the day, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر. Fasad, corruption has appeared in the land and the sea. Why? Bima kasabat aydin nas. Because of what people have done. Allah doesn't want to send this world into calamity and bala. Allah doesn't want all of this that is happening around us. So this world is alive. This world is a world that is thinking in that sense. It is conscious in that sense, in the system of Allah. You do something here, you will have to bear the consequences. Not everything is left for the hereafter. There are consequences here as well. وَضَاقَتِ الْأَرْضِ وَمُنِعَتِ السَّمَاءِ. We say to Imam Zaman, don't we, in this? We say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this dua of Imam Hujjat, what do we say? وَضَاقَتِ الْأَرْضِ وَمُنِعَتِ السَّمَاءِ. The earth is not producing. The earth has become constrained. The earth's barakat has stopped. وَمُنِعَتِ السَّمَاءِ. And that barakat and that blessing of the sky has been closed off. But when He comes, things will happen. When He comes, inshallah, this world will transform. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So when He comes, inshallah, Allahumma ajil ala dhuhurihi. When He comes, inshallah, you will see that the earth and the sky will make peace, will heal. Because of His presence, because of His wujud, His presence in this world, they will heal. Imam Ali says that when our Qa'im makes his stand, the sky will send its rain and the earth will grow its crops. The Holy Prophet says, at that time of the dhuhur of Imam Zaman, at that time, the birds in their nests will rejoice, and the fish in the sea will rejoice. Rivers will flow, springs will spring forth, and the earth will produce 2 times its harvest. Why? Barakat of Imam Zaman, barakat of Waliya Khuda, barakat of people finally accepting this amazing gift of Allah, which is the gift of wilayat. At the same time, you will see a change in the animal world as well. Here we have this famous verse of the Holy Quran, هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ. That famous verse. Ibn Abbas, he gives us a commentary on this verse. He says the following. Ibn Abbas says, at the time of the dhuhur of Imam Zaman, the sheep and the wolf, the cow and the lion, humans and snakes will all be at peace. They won't attack each other. No scientist will agree with this. No scientist will say this is true. They'll say it's in their nature. No. With the wujud of Imam Zaman, those bloodthirsty, cruel natures of even animals will change. Even the animals will stop those bloodthirsty things. The cow will know its place. It knows it has to be eaten. The lion knows it has to eat the cow. That's fine. But those kinds of schemes and tricks of the animals even will go out. Snakes will no longer harm humans, for example. Even a mouse will not need to find a hiding place. And this will be at the time of the dhuhur of the Qa'im. Natural world, plant world, sky, earth, humans, all coming under this amazing, expansive mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This baqiyatullah. Baqiyatullah khayrun lakum in kuntum mu'minin. Baqiyatullah is very good for you. The Holy Quran is saying, the baqiyatullah is very good for you, is the best thing for you if only you were believers. In another hadith, it says, at the time of the dhuhur of the Imam, there will be a sense of safety that will descend upon the earth. No one thing will endanger another thing. No one thing will be scared of another thing. Even animals will live amongst people but will not bother them. The blessings of the sky and the earth will become apparent. The earth will become beautiful with its crops. Flowers and fruits will appear and grow. Kindness and mercy will descend upon the hearts. Oh Allah, we are yearning for this time. Oh Allah, if only we could see this time. Oh Allah, give us lives long enough that we see the time of Imam Zaman, that we live in this golden age of Imam Zaman. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll discuss more about this golden age of Imam Zaman and what we mean here and some of the specifics that come in, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Azadaran of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Ghamkharan Janab Zainab, Matamdaran Imam Zainul Abidin. We are nearing Arba'een. This broken qafila, this tuta hua qafila of Gharib-e-Zahra has now left Karbala, stays in Kufa, leaves Kufa and is on the way to Sham. When Imam Sajjad was asked, Mawla, tell us, you saw all of these different atrocities, what was the worst? He would reply, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham. Nothing can be compared to the masa'ib of Sham. Nothing can be compared to what we had to go through in Sham. As they arrive into Sham, the journey was an ordeal. The treatment was barbaric. The heads of the shuhada are traveling with them. Imagine, Rabab has to see the head of Aba Abdullah. Zainab has to look at the head of Hazrat Abbas. Janab Sakina has to look at the head of Aliyun al-Akbar. The women are accompanied by the heads of the shuhada. They are made to wait an insanely long time outside the doors of the Darbar of Sham, because the Darbar was being prepared not to welcome Ahlul Bayt, but to try and humiliate Ahlul Bayt. It was being decorated. It was being decorated by Yazid and his people, that we will have a celebration when these people come in. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam and the rest of this qafila of Gharib-e-Zahra, they enter into the gates. They are taken towards the palace of Yazid. At that moment, there was a companion of Rasulullah, Sahal ibn Sa'ad. Sahal ibn Sa'ad was one of the companions of the Holy Prophet. He is standing there, he's looking at Sham, he's looking at all these decorations, he's looking at all these celebrations, the drums are being beaten in a celebratory way. People are acting happy, there's a happiness in the air. He looks at someone, he says, what is this? I don't know of this day. Is this a special day you have? Is this a celebratory day? Is this an Eid for you people in Sham? The person replies to him, this is not an Eid. If you knew what was going on, you would weep. The skies would fall upon us. The earth would swallow us. This is Ale Rasulillah which is coming into Sham. Sahal cannot believe what he's just heard. A good companion of the Holy Prophet. When he hears these words that the Al of the Rasul is coming into Sham, he says, let me go and see what is going on. When he looks closely, he sees a man on a horse. The man is tied from all sides. The man's back is bent. Around his body, he's covered in chains. Around his wrists, he is handcuffed. Around his ankles, he is cuffed. Around his neck, there is a collar of iron which has bitten into his neck. When he looks closely, who is this man? Who is this man that is being treated in this way? He says, when I went close, I saw this is none other than Ali ibn Hussain, Imam Zainul Abidin. He says, I could not believe my eyes. I could not believe what I was seeing. I rushed to the side of Imam Zainul Abidin. I said, Mawla, what has happened to you? I am Sahal ibn Sa'ad. I am a companion of Rasulullah. I cannot bear to see you like this, Mawla. Is there anything I can do for you? He says, Imam Zainul Abidin looked at me. He says, Sahal, if you can do one thing, please do for me. Go and get me a piece of cloth. Get me some clothing. Sahal says, I rushed to buy some cloth. I bought some cloth. I brought it back to the Imam. What I thought was that Imam will use this cloth to wrap around himself. Maybe Imam felt cold. Maybe Imam was shivering. Imam took the cloth from my hand. He thanked me. And what did he do with this cloth? He put the cloth in between the iron collar and his neck. He said, Sahal, now finally I have a moment of peace. Since leaving Kufa, this iron collar has been biting into my skin. It has been on the skin of my neck. Finally I have some peace, Sahal. Ajrukum alallah. Ajrukum alallah. May Allah not give you any gham except the gham of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This Qafila of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, after all of that humiliation which they had to go through, finally they appear in the court of Yazid. Yazid was not there at that moment. Yazid commands, tell them to wait. I'm going to make myself look very good. I'm going to wear the best of clothes. I'm going to beautify myself. Let them wait there. He sends his wife. Now his wife, her name was Hind, but she had actually served for a short time in the house of Amirul Mu'mineen. And she had a great respect for Imam Ali alayhi salam. She had a great love of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. He sends her, he says, you go, while I come, you stay there, you watch over them. She comes into this majma, she comes into this gathering. The Asiran of Karbala are in front of her. The Asiran are displayed in front of her. Janab Zainab is in chains. Bibi Kulthum is in chains. Hazrat Sakina is in chains. Imam Zainul Abidin is in chains. The rest of the children are all in chains. She looks at them. As she looks at them, Janab Zainab sees her. Janab Zainab says to Kulthum in a whisper, she says, oh sister Kulthum, do you recognize that lady? Janab Kulthum looks. She says, looks like Hind. She was our friend. She stayed in our house. She served our household. Janab Zainab says, yes, it is Hind. Hind begins to speak. Hind begins to address them. She says, who are you? Where are you from? Which kind of people are you? Janab Zainab says, we are the people of Medina. When Hind hears the name Medina, she begins to cry. She says, I have a love for the people of Medina. She stands up from her throne. She comes down. She says, out of your respect, out of the respect of the people of Medina, I will come at your level. She comes down to their level. Zainab asks, oh Hind, tell us, do you know anyone in Medina? Hind replies, I was in Medina for a short time. I knew only one household properly. I stayed in that household. That was the household of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Do you know that household? Zainab replies, oh Hind, tell us, whom do you know in that household? Whom do you remember from that household? She says, I remember there was a very good friend of mine. Her name was Zainab Kubra. How is Zainab? How is Kulthum? Zainab says, Hind, do you know anyone else in that household? She says, I remember a great personality of that household. How is Aba Abdullah al-Hussein? Zainab says, Hind, you will not believe. The Zainab you remember, I am that Zainab you remember. The Kulthum which you remember, this is Kulthum which you remember. And if you want to see Aba Abdullah, then look at that spear. There is the head of Aba Abdullah. Hind says, this is not possible. There was a young man, they say, he always used to protect Aba Abdullah. His name was Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Tell me, where is Abbas? She says, look at the spear. There you will see Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Allah la'anatul.